welcome back to the more of the editing, writing side of this behind the scenes look at how I play and write and do all things Sims related. I guess the first thing you should know is inside my pictures, I have a folder for all my Sims things, and as you can see, it's chock full of crap, basically. So I have a special folder for the house scenes. I have some just general like replies and where I announced that I was going to Simstrudel and the banner and all that stuff. And then I have within it each a folder for each separate generation. I just number them, keep it easy, and create a folder for this set of stuff. And this is just because I empty out my screenshots folder, and so they can't all go in the same place because they start overwriting each other. And then I have my screenshots just in my like electronic arts documents stuff. Let's see. So this is this is the first house scene photo, and then ironically we end. So it shows 63 items total. I usually like to see that number up closer to 100, even up to 150 before I like completely delete or just like drag and move it over. I don't know. I'm weird, but that's what I like to do. About per each numbered folder, have 150 photos in it. So instead of deleting it or cutting and pasting it, I'm just gonna copy and then come over here and paste it. I'm big on shortcuts, so sorry, I guess, if you don't know how to copy and paste, and I'll try to, as I go through the more Photoshoppy stuff, break it down more. But so I can close out of the screenshots now. Within this folder, I like to create another folder. I know, so many folders, and I call this one edits. And then I do a right click, open a new window so that I have both those ready. And then I have OneNote, my favorite program ever. And so this is my house scene, random rainbow sea notebook, I guess. And so here I have the generation 1 tab, and these numbers correspond to the same that are in the same numbers. So when I add an 11, it's going to be over all of the stuff in this folder 11. So it's kind of easy if I need to go back and, oh, where was that photo? Someone did a where can I find, and I want to use one of the photos, yeah, I don't know. That's just my system. But I do all my writing actually in OneNote before I even do anything on Tumblr. And for the sake of this, I'm obviously not going to go through writing the entire set of stuff for all the photos, so I'll probably do a few and then I'll switch over and show you the Tumblr stuff. But for the most part, I will write for the entire set collection of photos and then go to Tumblr. Anyway, let's get into it. So I'll find the first photo that I want to use. Like I said when I recorded it, I like this one because she seems slightly happier than, like this one, she's just frustrated. Then I want to write something about how she's not really thinking about her homework and she's instead, thinking about going to prom with this cute boy that she's just met. And, yeah. I open it up. I have it open to set with Adobe Photoshop CS6. So when I just double click on this, it automatically opens it up in Photoshop. So that's going to load up. Now, I happen to have like everything saved down in actions to make it easy. Someone mentioned something about there being like a group action thing, like I can open up all the photos and do it. And I don't do that just because I kind of like to have a little bit more control if I have to do anything special. So I have some basic folders. So what I'm actually going to keep using is called My Actions, and these are actions that call in to affect these other actions, but it has my own little twists on it. So, like for instance, when I use this house scene one, if I open it up, it plays the action clean and clear, and then it plays this action, and then and this action too. And so there's just like it does a lot of things. So um, I am not gonna upload my actions because they use other people's stuff, but I will try to put links in the description, or if I forget, you can always, ask me or whatever. Tumblr's probably a better place if you want like a quick reply. I'm actually really bad about checking my YouTube if you haven't noticed yet. So anyway, for this I use WooHooligan's Color Pop action mostly, but I also use a little bit of Coleco's Clean and Clear action, but I use like the Topaz Clean type stuff. I don't use the color part. Her colors aren't quite as popping. Color pop. I don't know. I just like my stuff to be super, like, almost hurts your eyes bright, and I find that WooHooligans does a good job with doing that. So again, yeah, my action. I'll for this one I'll try to do it mostly in the the old long way. So I would do Topaz Clean, which you have to install Topaz Clean for that to work. It's a plugin, and it just sharpens it. And then I come up here and I do the Color Pop action, and that's going to give it its brightness. And then I come back down here and I do the texture, and that just creates this, I don't know, other layer. And then I like to do a merge visible, and then I do a Control I, or image size. I think you can do image size here. And I believe I'll check when I do the other action, but I think I have it set at 1200 on the width, and then the height's whatever it is. And then what I do after that, and so that's kind of where the action stops. It stops after it gets resized. But then I come in and I do a crop, and this is a custom one that I made, so you can do save preset, because I set the width. So if I sized it to 1200 when I resized it, I pulled the width down to 1088, and I kept the height the same. And so this just makes it slightly, it's cutting off just a little bit on the edges. So I had that preset, so that's, it's already set, so in that ratio. So even if I shrink it down, it stays in that ratio, which is kind of nice. Photoshop has these cool things that can help you kind of pick what part you want to crop. So rule of thirds kind of goes with that idea of like, okay, I want my sim on the outside edges, or it can help you center things if you want it dead center. I had it on diagonal. I was playing around with this one. I don't know, it's kind of cool. They have triangles. I'm not a huge, I don't know much about photography and aspect stuff or anything. I usually have it on golden ratio because that's more of a mathy thing, and I'm like, oh, I know what the golden ratio is. Anyway, and they also have the golden spiral, which I don't know how I would ever use that. Anyway, so you can play around with settings and they can help you figure out where to crop it. I don't know how much I really pay attention to those. Like for instance, yeah, I could center her in the middle and that's fine, but looking at this side of the photo is kind of dead. Like there's nothing really interesting. It's like the desk, because I'm like inside the desk basically as I'm taking this photo. So I'm actually gonna just pull it all the way over here, because at least we have a photo and her bed in the background. Like, I don't know, it's just a little bit more interesting. And again, that makes her not perfectly centered, which I kind of like. So then I hit the check mark and I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that. And then I do a file, save as. I go into this edits folder. I like to save it as a PNG, and I just keep it simple and I call it 1 because that's the first photo I've edited. And I hit OK, and then I close this. And so then I come into my edits folder, I Control C to copy it, and I open up OneNote, and then I Control V to paste it. and then I come up with what I'm gonna write. And this is kind of awkward like right now because I'm like, it feels like, I know obviously I'm in a room by myself like always, but it feels like you guys are watching, or I know you're gonna watch. And I'm like, pressure, pressure, come up with something really good. Um, so I don't know. Like I just liked what I said before. Um, when when you write, I always, when it's school related, I always go back to math because I'm a math teacher. When you write 4 times 7, I'm gonna do this way. When you write 4 times 7 is equal to 32, because you are more focused on your prom date with the cute new boy from school than on your homework. Like, I don't know. When you write 4 times 7 is equal to 32 because you're more focused on your prom date. You are more focused on your prom date with the cute new boy from school than on your homework. Like, I don't know. I don't spend too much time. I've probably spent more time on this than I normally would. But that sounds good. I don't see any glaring grammar mistakes. But as you guys know, I'm like, I always have mistakes. So I don't like severely edit it. And then it's just a matter of finding one of these that I like. I think that one's nice. So I've shown you the breakdown of what my action does, but it does it all in one click. So I call it house scene because that's what I use for house scenes. And yeah, this is set at 1200. So I go into crop, and I'm going to, for this one, I'm more or less just making sure the interesting part stays in the frame. And I hit check, and then I am saving it and calling this one 2. And this, and you know, sometimes I don't feel the need to write a caption. Like especially when they're more artistic and they're just cute, like, we get it. She's doing homework, and I don't have any huge inspiration for what I could write there. I do kind of want to incorporate this photo that I took. So again, using my action to edit it. And this time I'm going to make it unconstrained. And my goal here is just to make it super skinny. Well, as skinny as I can get it. Well, keeping the interesting parts. Like, I want the whole pencil in there, basically, is my goal. And, you know, I might get to Tumblr and decide, oh, I don't actually like that at all, and I'll not use it. But it's just sometimes a fun idea to take a little strip of a picture of, you know, something that's not the face. Whether it's, you know, decorations, more decor stuff, especially nature, flowery tree stuff outside, or in this case, hands. I love hands. I think a lot of people like hands, pictures of hands, so with a pencil. Alright, and fast forward a whole lot in time. I think, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of times I don't take a ton of pictures. I think that's pretty common. But because I was filming, I felt like I was sharing parts of it that maybe I would have photographed, but probably not. So we have her photo stuff. I really like that one. So again, I used my action. And I have to turn back on this ratio. And for this one, I'm cool with just kind of centering her. Right? Neither side has anything super interesting. It's really kind of a bad picture. I mean, I suppose in the moment, if I had thought about it, I could have turned it and done like more of a portrait picture. That would have been kind of cool. But I didn't think about it. And I guess not really a pet peeve, but I really don't like it when people, for instance, do this. And they post it on Tumblr like this because by the time you post it, it's like Tumblr blows it up so much that it gets super grainy and pixely and gross. Um, and I hope I'm not offending anyone by that, but if you do that, um, it's not going to look as good as if you just turned the camera in game. Now, again, for me, if I wanted to do this, yeah, that'd be super cute. And I'd have to, and obviously the moment's passed and I can't take this photo again. So I'd have to decide whether I wanted to sacrifice quality for this angled shot. The other idea is if you have two photos, for example, if I wanted to use this one side by side this one, if you put two photos like horizontally, I wish I could use my hands. I'm such a hand talker. Like this photo by this photo side by side in Tumblr, it works out better. So maybe I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to go ahead and crop this one. Actually, I'm going to use the other one first. So we're going to do this one side by side. So edit this one. And I know this one's going to be the wider one. So that's why I'm going to use this one as the base. So okay, I like that. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do File, Save As, PNG, go into my edits, and I'm actually going to jump up to 5 because I want the other one to go first. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, I'm going to do a Control A, Control C to select and copy it, and a Control V to paste it. And then I'm going to center this one so it'll be the same size. And I'm going to hit save and call this one 4. So just popping into Tumblr really quick here, I'll show you what I mean with those. So when I go to post these, so I don't know if it'll show on here or not. So I'm trying not to sound like a jerk as I'm explaining this. How I've edited my photos, I've made them sharp, and maybe once you got it on your computer or you have a bigger screen, like some people obviously are going to have bigger, better ratio screens than mine, and they're going to see this photo, and you can even see it a little bit like around the cake here. It's just jagged edges. Yeah, that's probably the worst part. There's a little bit of jaggedness here. Now here's where I'm going to potentially sound like a jerk. I have pretty good graphics. Like, I don't think you guys are idiots. I have a decent computer. And sorry, if I am offending anyone, I really don't mean to. And it's like one of those like, maybe I should cut this out and just not say it. But I do have a good computer. I have good graphics. And just because you don't doesn't mean you shouldn't post, but you have to be extra aware of this. When you take a landscaped photo, remember this one is taken with a wide frame, right? There's all this excess here and here, and I cropped it to the middle part. When you take that and post it like this, the quality isn't going to be very good. And it might look okay, and this one, looking at it, doesn't look terrible, because this overall isn't, I was still zoomed in pretty good. If I was doing her whole body, at this point it would look awful if I tried to do that. But here's a remedy if you have a photo and you want it to be cropped this way. You can take a second photo that's more or less the same size and set them side by side. And some people put the little white borders, and maybe I should have done that. And I might go back and do that. And now what you have is those two photos, you know, and they're cropped, so I didn't have so much gross excess. And it creates a different style, and I think it's really cute. So I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to open these up, and I'm going to put white on top, and I'm going to do, oops, not fill, edit. Okay, I'm going to copy it first. Backgrounds are weird. So stroke, no, I actually did want white. Inside, and I feel like I'm going to start with 25 pixels. That might be a little much. No, I like that. So 25 pixels, and I'm going to just save as PNG and just copy right over the top of it. And then I'm going to do the same thing and open the fifth one, create a layer out of it, and do a stroke inside 25 pixels, and I'm saving it as a PNG and just replacing the same one. So showing you in Tumblr again real quick. It just creates a different style, and I think it's a way for you to have better looking photos as they post on someone's wall, if you want to crop them down. So don't hate me. Do what you want to do. You know, take everything I've said with a grain of salt. You know, you do you. If you don't mind the graininess that you get when you crop those photos, by all means, continue. So the other thing that when I was taking these photos I told you is I like to do kind of a really zoomed out photo and use it as a scene setting tool. So look, we're in the kitchen, look, the cats are here and both moms are here, and Canary's having her birthday. And so I'm going to edit this the same way as I did before. And again, I kind of want to, I mean, I don't want to like lose too much of the decorations on the top, but I definitely want to cut it in a little bit. You know, make it a little skinny thing. And so I would even place this right under those two that I had before. So I'm going to, because I know that I want to do that, I'm going to Control J, do a stroke like I did on those ones. And just give it a little different style, you know? Switch it up a bit. Alright, so get these in here. And I don't do anything fancy, I just kind of show them in there so that when I go back and put these in, because sometimes I'll do the writing in this like way ahead. Like I have, like, spoiler alert right now, look away. Like I have a whole bunch, yeah, see, spoiler alert, written out in advance for Coney Island, and this is not queued yet. So sometimes it lives in this notebook for a little while before it makes it in onto Tumblr. So I put all the photos to remind myself, oh yeah, I want all three of those, and then I'm going to write the text, and I'm going to write, it's Canary's birthday. So original, so eloquent. So then we have these photos of her aging up. So I'm gonna edit them and go back to my preferred ratio, and I don't know, that's fine. Save it. Oop. Okay, and grab one of these where she's aged up. Oh, it's gonna be hard to decide, although I kind of like her cheesy grin. this one and crop it and save it. And so I usually do those two, and I say canary, riddle, Halcyon, and then I list out her traits. So, oh, I never added her newest. I haven't added her last two. Whoops. Okay. Luckily, I still have Sims open, so I can pop in and check her traits. So, commitment issues. And her newest one is photographer's eye. So that's the other thing, is I have this kind of, all mine have it, but generation rules is what I titled it originally, but it's basically just basic info. So I have all the kids and their traits listed out. So I can just copy this and come over here and paste it, and then the only thing is I like to do a plus, and then I usually bold that part. I'll show you basically right now. It doesn't, like if I do any sort of editing, like making this bold or anything now, it doesn't transfer over to Tumblr, so I just basically write it. I'm a little sad that I haven't done any sort of dialogue. I'll just back up and, oh, there was some dialogue here. So when I put it in Tumblr, I'll bold the actual dialogue part, so I would like make that part bold on all the quotation parts, but I don't do that in here because it's not gonna transfer over. So fast forward, let's assume that I had done all the photos that I wanted to do. I go into my queue, go to Simstrudel, and I think let me double check and make sure. I think I'm all set up and queued up as, yep. So this is actually good. I'm queuing what I should be queuing. So I put in this photo, and then I take this and I turn it back to where I have my banner, and I drag it in, and then I select this and I copy it, Control C. Now, if I just do Control V, which is to paste, and or like here, it actually pastes a photo of the text, which I don't want. So if I do Control Shift V all at the same time, it just pastes the text itself. And so I'm going to make it italic. I don't know, because I feel like it. And then I do my tags. It's weird. Those ones I just type out, and then when I get to the name stuff, I'm like, I'm just clicking. So, Calla Lily, and then HRRG1, which stands for Halcyon Random Rainbow Sea, and then I queue it. So the nice thing is, if my internet is notorious for being awful, so if it cuts out or if Tumblr has a glitch, I don't lose. Oh, I forgot I was gonna put that one with this one. I don't lose everything, which is really nice. You know, all the text is saved down. So let me edit this one and put this in here. So you can play around with putting on the bottom or the top. I kind of like it on the top. And then you can also, I have these bars that I use occasionally to give it a little style. Okay, and then we have this one. I like that I was able to get some different styles of editing at least. I didn't get very good quality writing done in this segment, which is unfortunate, but I don't know, I guess you see my writing. And hopefully you gathered from all this that I really don't put a ton of effort into the writing. It's like if something good comes to me, I use it. If not, whatever. The only thing that I didn't mention, and I didn't do a very good job modeling either, is, hold on, I can't think and type at the same time. House scenes, so we have everyone. Canary. So I usually, when I do my tagging, I'm just like throwing out every little thing of why I do it and what I do. I start with the like top left in this case picture, and the first person left to right that shows up is the first tag, so canary. Canary again. For this one we have magnolia, and then we would have canary, but she's already listed, and then we have that sunshine. And I don't always put the cats in when they're in the background, but for now I will. And then I have Noki. And then I have B. And okay, so back to what I was saying. When I go to write stuff, so for example, let me go back. But see, it's all like photo-y stuff. Oh, let me do the next one. If I do the next one as an edit. I had when I was playing, this is right after I stopped filming, a inspiration hit for what I could have say and done there. So let me show you. So for example, at this point I could very easily either just leave it as is and not say anything about it, which works. I could say something about eating cake, or gotta love that birthday cake, or all, you know, honeybee and canary eat the birthday cake, and, you know, kind of narrate it. And I'm notorious for being bad about that. But one thing I always try to tell myself is, like, you know, is there a way to explain what is happening through dialogue? And so I could say something about, you know, like from Canary's point of view, if you're not going to finish that piece of cake, I'll take it. You know, that just gives it a little bit more interest to get across the same point that, hey, they're eating cake. But what I actually want to put here is, hey, do you think we'll have time to run out to get a prom dress before tonight? And I don't know what she's gonna say. Shop. I'm just realizing I never did any photo shooting with Canary in her dress, so I might have to try to do that. So anyway, what could have been something really boring now tells a little bit more of the story, because I really do want Canary to go to prom, even though she's just aged up and hasn't gone to school. So this ties that in a little bit and does more work for me in what is a basic photo of them eating, you know. Anyway, okay, that's it. I've rambled on enough. I don't know. I probably am not going to do any special editing with any of these, excuse me, photos. I'll do more cropping, you know, but I'm probably going to just use the same preset stuff that I've been using. If I do anything interesting with them, I will do a separate photo, or I mean a separate video clip of it. But yeah, aren't they adorable? I'm so happy. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and sorry about the delayed narration and then all of a sudden it cut out. So thanks for watching. I hope you found something useful or enjoyed this. And yeah, thanks for watching. Mwah!